what an amazing segue into my day 60 of my Whole30 diet. And I'd love to touch base on this a little bit because I haven't talked about my diet. I think I've been quiet the past 3 weeks and I gave you all a break, but I think day 60 is a great milestone here. And for anyone who hasn't heard the story, I'm going to give a brief little backstory on it because it has definitely changed so many aspects of my life. And I always knew it would, but the instant gratification from an ice cold beer or a bacon cheeseburger or some ice cream always trumps that voice in my head of saying, come on, man, just like, don't do it, like just get in the best shape of your life. You're going to feel so much more confident. You're going to feel so much better. But then you're just like, yeah, but a burger and beer after a day of golf or whatever it is just such a reward. And I had to train myself, but I did get to a point after this summer because we had the craziest transitional year ever. We were moving around, for those of you who remember that. We were in our Airbnb, then we went and moved into my in-laws' Airbnb, then we lived in a hotel for 10 days, then we finally got here. Alyssa was getting her license, and there was so much going on, and what comes with that is just a lot of eating. And then, around the summertime was a lot of drinking and partying and having a good time. We went to Miami, and I just got to a point in the summer that I said, if I keep this up till Christmas, it's not going to be good. So why don't I get an early start on it? And I was like, well, I've tried everything, and I don't want this to be a yo-yo diet. I want to find something that can actually change the way I view food. I want to do something drastic because I also wanted the challenge in my life, and I wanted something that I could control. And I think I was really in that phase of my life where we're doing so many new things that you can only control what you can control. And when it comes to building on social media, having a podcast, working with different experts or guests that come on, building a real estate business, there's a lot of having to train yourself to enjoy that process because you have highs and lows and then everything in the middle. But with diet, it was the one thing during this crazy time after coming off of moving all these different locations, starting new careers. I was like, I need something that I can guarantee that I'm going to have some level of success each and every day. And no matter what's going on in your life, the one thing you can control is what you put in your mouth and what you eat. Even with working out, God forbid you get injured, you can still maybe walk, or maybe if it's something else, you can kind of do it. But with eating, as long as you're not like somewhere that you don't have access to healthy foods or amounts of foods that you can actually eat, it is just such a great tool if you want to create some forward-moving success in your life and go to bed at night being like, hey, maybe this didn't go right, maybe this didn't go right, but you know what did go right? I only had 1,900 calories today, and I didn't have any dairy, or I didn't have any soda, or I didn't have any candy or bread or whatever it is that maybe you want to give up in your diet. But I think that's the greatest thing that I've learned is it gives me a sense of satisfaction every single night. So it's been wonderful. This is day 60. And just to reiterate, it's extreme. I don't know if I would recommend it to everyone unless you're really ready to take on an incredible challenge. But it's 30 days of nothing. It is just meat, vegetables, fruit, and nuts, and not all nuts, but like almonds or pistachios. So you eliminate dairy, processed food, sugar, alcohol, and anything artificial. So I think they call it the Whole30 because you're supposed to eat things that when you look at the ingredients, you actually know. Like if you look at a banana or you look at a potato, that's the ingredient. Even if you look at a bag of cheese or you look at some things in the packaged shelves, there's 97 ingredients that we don't know. But if you pick up a pepper, it's a pepper. If you pick up beef, it is beef. So it's basically just a one ingredient type deal for the most part. But it has definitely changed the way that I view myself. I feel very healthy. My biggest focus was just the inflammation of my body, eating a bunch of processed food and greasy food and mixing that with beer or whatever it was, just was creating inflammation in my body, and it was creating aches and pains. And I made light of it because it's just as I'm getting older and things happen. But I think your diet plays a huge role because I've noticed just my ailments or anything. I've been jogging again and, knock on wood, no pain. My sciatic nerve, just a little bit, but not crippling. So I really think what I'm putting in my body is making a big difference. So if you want to find yourself some sort of diet that works for you, something that you can stick to, and really start learning, because I know I needed to do that. I'm so confused because you can Google milk is bad for you and you can Google milk is good for you, and there's going to be doctors and dietitians telling you that milk is bad and milk is good. Red meat is bad, red meat is good. No matter what you Google, you will find. And I think the best way to do this is to research on your own body, and that's what Whole30 does, is that I'm able to I integrated grains back into my diet after about 36 days, and I'm still losing weight. I still feel fine. So grains don't seem to be an issue. Now, I could try dairy again. I could try alcohol again, but or even processed food like a Big Mac or French fries. My God. But I don't want to right now. I definitely will have a beer in the future. I'll definitely probably have some cheese at some point, but I just want to ride this out. It's mid-October. Is it possible to make it to the new year? And that's what I'm going to try. So far so good, but take it from me. I went through this last year. I saw something come up on a Time Hop photo that I was on like a 3-week diet last year. I always do these things, but then Thanksgiving and Christmas comes, we make excuses for ourselves, but then you just hit a wall. And if you have the strength right now, or you're fed up and you're like, I need to do something, getting on it early also has that same effect of like waking up early. If you start a diet mid-October, you're getting ahead of all of society who's going to start January 1st. And you kind of feel like you have the upper hand, which doesn't really make any sense. But at the end of the day, it kind of does. So, but yeah, look into like keto or paleo or calorie counting. But also don't deprive yourself. You know, that's what I've learned as well. My dad's losing weight right now, and I've been trying to tell him at his size, he's a big guy, he should not be having 2,000 calories. Like, he should be having 3,000 calories a day because of how big he is, a big guy. And I think a lot of people eat under their calorie intake, and then they're starving, and then after 2 months of dieting, they just slam 8 Big Macs because their body was just like hungry this whole time. But I have been eating 1,800 to 2,000 calories this past month. I'm full. I'm never hungry. I'm eating. I'm filling myself up. I just had to find the right foods to facilitate that. So